Ethan, I just want to jump in there 1 second. Ethan, was that something that your group did? Did you have anybody suffering from any ailments and taking these tinctures, these compounds? Would that have maybe aided in what you were suffering from? Was that looked at?
Well, first of all, it wouldn't have mattered if they had the symptoms or not. The point is, if there's no active ingredient, it doesn't matter if you're suffering from the symptoms or not. If there's no active ingredient, you can't get better. There's nothing to make you get better. I do believe that a couple of our volunteers who were participating may have had a cold or flu. I know one person was suffering from insomnia at the time. I don't believe his medication helped him at all. But getting back to sort of this notion of energy, quantum mechanics has nothing to do with homeopathy at all. I don't know where that comes from at all.
It sounds to me a lot of times, Iman, when we look at this, it sounds like we don't have a real explanation of how homeopathic medicine works. It sounds like more mystery than science. We've heard the term of placebo effects.
The thing is that when it comes to even medications, we don't have explanation for the method of action. I take aspirin, for example. After discovery of aspirin, for longest time, we didn't know the method of the action. We didn't know how aspirin works until someone figured that out in 1971, how aspirin works. Even in the current date, we have some medications, conventional medicines, that the method of action is unknown. If you go and Google, let's say, I'm using one, how the anesthesia works. If you look at Wikipedia or Google it, you will see that the method of action is unknown for even many of the conventional medicine. So it is definitely, homeopathy is waiting for modern science to catch up with this to understand how it works. Now, if you say, that there is nothing in it, and just because if you don't see anything under microscope, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
How?
Imagine, what is it?
How does it not exist, and if we can't see it?
Well, imagine if you say that I have light in my room thanks to my light fixtures because I can see my light bulb, so thanks to that. And I say, no, you're wrong. Thanks to electricity, you have light. And you say, no, I cannot see electricity, so if I don't see electricity, there's no energy.
Ethan, I wanted to get your reaction on that.
Well, you can measure electricity. We've known how to do that for close to 100 years. I don't know where that's coming from. I think we should go back to the notion here of plausible mechanism of making homeopathy work. And in order for you to explain homeopathy, that this law of similars and by diluting something over and over and over again, it's going to make more potent, we would have to throw out everything we know about physics, biology, chemistry. These are established sciences that have been around for many years. They've gone through rigorous testing and repeated examinations. So if we're going to throw out these established sciences, we need some pretty darn extraordinary evidence that homeopathy is working.
And is there evidence, Ethan?
No, there is none evidence.
Iman, you heard what Ethan said. It appears that there's no scientific evidence, but you think we have to look beyond science to come up with this evidence for this?
No, we don't have to look beyond science. Actually, science is there, and we need science to look at this, because so many people, they say, I believe in homeopathy, and I don't agree with them because homeopathy is not a religion. Why you believe in it? It's not a religion. It's just a medical system. It's a science. Let's look at it from a scientific view, and we are not disregarding any scientific explanation up to now what we have. We just need to look at it from different angles. We have enough evidences on hand. We have enough proof, scientific proof, and scientific data on hand to look at homeopathy. And I have many examples to use. We have one professor. His name is Martin Chaplin from London South Bank University, that he says water does store and transmit information by means of the hydrogen bonded network. And this is just one simple example that I can use in this short interview to tell you that we don't know much about the mechanism of the water, how the water transmits information. There are some scientific information about that. We need to explain it more. We need to explore it more. We cannot just ignore it. It's been around for more than 200 years. It works on children. It works on animals. It works on plants. I mean, if it works on them and you see the result, you cannot ignore that.
Well, obviously we know more research needs to be done on it, but I also wanted to touch on, of course, after this investigation conducted by CFI, according to, now I'm not putting this on you, Iman, but according to representatives of the homeopathic industry in Canada, they were making some slanderous comments, according to CFI, saying that the Center for Inquiry is working with big pharma on this. And where does this come from? Is this something that you agree with?
I disagree. You know, it's just, why we are taking sides? You know, we are all in it for humanity. Down the road, we want to make sure that something is right. You know, for the sake of humanity. So modern medicine and homeopathy, they have to work together. And
I have to jump in right now because I'm almost out of time, and I wanted to get Ethan's thoughts on that. Can homeopathic medicine and modern medicine work together, Ethan? And what do you think of all of this, and including that claim by some people in the homeopathic industry?
Well, I think homeopathy makes a specific claim that can be tested, and there have been many, many tests, and all of them have pretty much come to the conclusion that homeopathy is not effective. I still think that if homeopathists come up with different formulas or different mechanisms, we should test those. All medical science has to be rigorously tested. It has to be constantly interrogated to see if it works. And I don't see why homeopathy can't fit in with that. That's perfectly reasonable. I just think that we're granting far too much acceptance to homeopathy, even though it hasn't achieved the level of scientific proof that science-based medicine has.
More work needs to be done. I think everybody can agree on that. More research and explanation. Ethan and Iman, I appreciate both of you for joining us today on C-FAX.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for your time. Ethan Clow joining us with the Center for Inquiry in Vancouver, and Iman Navab, he's with the Homeopathic Medical Association of Canada, looking at this issue of homeopathic medicine in Canada. Definitely something that's not going away anytime soon. More work needs to be done. Coming up next on the News to 1:30.